everyone. This is the David Goodman Reality and Truth Show. My name is Vanita Lambert, and my co-host Donna Bourne is here today with me. Hi, Donna.
Hi, Vanita. Thanks for having me another day. I missed you last week. That's 2 weeks.
And the week before. I was just going to mention it. I haven't seen her in 2 weeks, and I really miss her. So I'm glad she's back with us. But you are, you had a very good reason for not being here. Right. So I forgive you. She's studying to become an RN?
LPN.
LPN. So right now she's a certified nurse assistant, and she's studying to be an LPN. I know that's hard work.
Yes, it's very much so. The head is, older. When you get older and big and decided that you want to do something, it's like it's more harder for you to grasp it, but by the grace of God, I'm going to be fulfilling it.
Just jump in. Just jump back in. I'm going to go to school next year. I'll be 62. I know I don't look it, but I will be. No, I'm only kidding. I'll be 62. And when you turn 62 in the state of Connecticut, you can go to community college for free. So I'll probably go back to either Housatonic or Gateway. The way you do that is you have to register for the classes. And of course, all the paying customers go first. And then if there's room left in that class, then you get to take it for free. So that's one of the perks. I figure why pay for it if I could go back since I already waited this long.
Wow.
Go back for free, yeah. So if you're 62 and you want to start a new career, you're still young, people are living until like their 90s, their mid 90s or whatever. You can take up a whole new career. And depending on what work force you're in, so if you're like in the correction officer, municipalities, and certain jobs where you could retire in 20 or 25 years and sometimes 30 years, you can retire, collect your pension, and go back and get a whole new career and collect 2 pensions or just have 2 pays. Yes. So it's good to know.
That's a good information.
Yes, it is.
I can even think about that because I would love to, go further with the RN as well too after I do the LPN. You'll give me a great idea.
Yeah.
Because I'm not far away from that 65.
Yes. And I have like less than a year and I'll be 62. And guess how I found out? I sit down with 10 to 15 families every single week and help them in the 4 areas that will impact their lives the most, which is Medicare, long-term care, life insurance, and retirement planning. And I was sitting with one of my clients in Wethersfield, and he's retired. And I asked him, so what do you do to keep yourself busy? It's just one of the questions that I normally ask.
Right.
Because you don't want people to just sit around and get bored. And he told me he's going back to school. And he told me that it was free. That's how I learned,
You see, that's good.
It is. It's good information.
Very good information.
So I'm teaching them about Medicare, and they are, teaching me about everything else. So that's when I decided to go back. I'm not sure what I'm going to, what area I'm going to study. I just haven't thought about that yet. But it definitely will not be medical.
Why don't you do paralegal?
Oh, okay. Well,
I think
That's a thought, but I don't know.
I think that fit you, yes.
I want to do something easy.
I think paralegal.
I got to start easy just to ease me back into it.
You suit a paralegal, girl. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's
You're
what
great
I'm
at information, and you gather information quickly, so paralegal.
Okay. That's right. You know what? I've been in customer service.
You're already doing it.
Yeah.
It's just that
It's problem solving.
Yes, you already doing it.
Exactly. Yes. Speaking of problem solving, here in the state of Connecticut, I can't go a day without talking about COVID.
I know,
because COVID is a huge part of our lives. When I go to the gym, I have to have my mask. When I go to certain stores, the rules are conflicting, so I just wear it all the time. Because, some places you gotta have it, some places you don't have to have it.
One thing that I recognize right now with COVID, that many people right now are adjusting.
Are what?
Adjusting to it.
Oh yeah, you get used to it.
Yeah, it become a part of us right now that sometimes, right now, to what I see, is like people recognize that this is something that we just have to accept and just protect ourselves. Do the right thing. Take your shot and wear your mask, wash your hands, do the right thing, and you will live, you know?
Yep. So just like the last pandemic, I had a guest on the show, and she was talking about the Spanish flu. So when the Spanish flu came around, that was here for, she said it took 2 or 3 years before
the Spanish flu?
That pandemic was over, so why should COVID be any different? And I said, well, I don't remember Spanish flu.
I don't remember either.
I don't know when that was. But she told me about it. She's not that much older than me either, just like maybe 5 or 6 years. But anyway, every time there's a pandemic, you just can't get rid of it in 1 year. You can't get rid of it that quickly because everybody is just not on the same page. Everybody is, medical history is different. Everybody's way of thinking is different. And it doesn't matter, where you are in life. It doesn't matter if you're in the projects, if you're in the suburbs, or if you're a celebrity. Because I was listening to sports. I'm a sports fanatic. So I was listening to Sports Channel, and they were talking about Kyrie Irving. He plays for the New York Brooklyn Nets, I believe. Yeah. And they mandated that everybody, all their teammates had to have the vaccine. And so he's one that isn't going to do it. But he said, when he first started the season, that was not the case. But then I guess New York came up with some new law, and he did not have time to adjust. So he's sitting out and he's not playing because I guess he just doesn't agree with putting whatever's in the vaccine in his body. And that's his right. I mean, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. And it's their body, and if they're afraid of it, but he cannot play basketball. And these guys that, these professional athletes, they live for basketball. I can't even imagine what LeBron James would do if he couldn't play basketball until he's able to retire. Like while he's still able to play, what else would he do? It's like me. If I need to take a vaccine to help other people get insurance, then that's what I'm going to do as long as my body can handle it. Exactly. So I can't even imagine what he would do without it.
Yeah.
It's just... But anyway, that's a part of our lives, and that's what we got to do. So do your job to crush COVID, and if that's wearing a mask, taking a vaccine, or whatever. But I don't have the updated information, but in Connecticut, this was last week, I think, 88 point whatever, we'll just say 88% of everybody eligible to take the vaccine in Connecticut has at least 1 dose. And I guess nationally, it's like 56.4% or something like that. Every eligible adult has, at least 2.
Yeah.
2 of the shots done.
They,
So in Connecticut, 88%, the numbers don't lie. That's a good percentage. So we could almost walk around without a mask all the time.
Yeah, that sounds good because Connecticut, with that shows, that means it shows like we are on the right path.
We're getting herd immunity.
Yes.
What's herd immunity? What percentage is that? Is that 80% or?
That's what they said. It was supposed to be 80%.
So is it 80% with 2 people? With people having 2 vaccines?
Vaccine.
Okay,
2
so
vaccine.
We're almost there. So if 88% of the people have 1 vaccine now, so this is what, mid-October, we could say by a month from now or 3 weeks from now, 88% if everybody do their second shot, will have herd immunity.
Yes, and then that's gonna be a what? Thumbs up.
Except for one of the people I work with. I know she's not taking it.
Jesus. Listen, what I like about the vaccine that they released, and I'm not sure if you see it, that they have the vaccine now for 6 years old and up.
Oh, no, I didn't know about that.
From 6 to 12. I saw it on the news, yeah.
When did that come out?
I saw that came out sometime this week. I think it's around Tuesday or Monday. One of those days I saw it. They're having the vaccine coming out now for
We're a country. I mean, immunizations is something that, we've always done. Your kids couldn't go to school unless you see their immunization record. They have their measles, their chicken pox, they have this or that. So, I don't know. The way I see it, you probably eat a lot of foods. You don't know what's in that either. A lot of people, you know what I mean?
Exactly. And sometimes we just have to just do the right thing. That's all I have to say. Just do the right thing.
Take your vaccine and pray for the ones that don't or the ones that can't, because a lot of people
Everyone's
cannot.
supposed to be praying.
No, huh?
Everyone's supposed to be praying at this time.
Well,
for those who don't.
Let's talk about praying.
Yes.
Okay? Let's talk about that, because I know people, grown educated folks that did not pray or do not pray until there is a problem.
My God.
And it's not, I don't know if it's the way I was raised. I know my kids probably, I didn't raise my kids up in the church because, that's I feel bad about that. But at the time, the church that I was going to and things that were happening and some of the churches around me, God forgive me, I'm not going to mention any names. I am a Baptist. There were some terrible things going on. And I did not want to be around it. I can honestly say that because my father's a preacher. He was a pastor of 2 churches, and he was horrible.
Oh, wow. But listen,
this is your expertise anyway.
With what you say pertaining to you not growing your children in the church, guess what? I know you know God.
Of
and
course.
I know you taught them, listen, we are the church, sis. We are the church. And you don't really have to go into a building to say you are not a child of God. You are a child of God from the day you were created. He chose you for such a time as this. So even if you did not take your child into the building to pray, the church it's you.
Exactly.
And once you accept him and you know who wake you up that morning and allowing you to have children, and you believe that there is a God, you serving God. Don't let no one complicate you and let you feel less of yourself that you don't know God. The God that we serve, he already died for our sin. He sent his son to die for us. And once he did that, listen, the God is in you, the Holy Spirit. And you have a heart to love. And once you share, there's a God that is in you. He woke you up. He providing for you. Listen, God is always going to be God. He's the same God yesterday. He's the same God today.
Well, thank you. I don't feel so bad now.
Yeah, don't feel bad. No.
You know what? I did teach my kids about love God, love others. And I added one, love yourself.
Exactly.
Because self-love is very important.
Listen to me, and some people don't have that.
They don't. They don't.
I'm sorry to say, it's all in the church.
It is.
In the building. It's in the church, which is us. It's in the building as well. That's where you find it, where they don't even love themselves. And if you cannot love yourself, you cannot love others.
Oh, no, that's right.
And guess what? If you are carrying and say you are a child of God and you don't have the love within you, then the God is not in you, because God himself is love. And if you are saying you're carrying love and you don't have the God in you because you lack of love. Mm-hmm. The Bible said the great out of these is love, charity. And the great out of all of them is love. All of what he's talking about is love.
Love conquers all. Love conquers all.
So if you don't have love, baby, seek for love.
And you're right about the building. I mean, I was going to a church, and I do go to church occasionally. Like I church hop. I go to different churches. Somebody might invite me, I might go. And I do seminars at churches and things like that. But I was going to a church where, 2 of my relatives, on my in-laws and on my side, they've been going to this church for years and years. You know what? I'm just going to say it. It's the church that I got married in, Messiah Baptist Church, which is a huge church. Huh?
Calling name.
It's a huge church. That's where I got married. But it's a big church, so they have a big congregation. And there were two people that's, related to me, would go to church, been going to church for decades, in the same church, and did not speak to each other.
Oh, wow.
How's that possible? I'm like, where is the love? Where is the unity? And there was just, you know what, I'm not going to mention all the things my father did, but, he was not a good person, but he would go to church and preach and tell people how to live. The thing with me, the problem that I have is that I cannot take instruction from somebody, okay, that's supposed to be a God-fearing person, have their degree in theology and went to school and teaching us. I cannot look at them and respect them if I know, say there's a preacher having an affair. I can't look at him with a straight face. And yes, I will give you this. It's not my problem. It's none of my business. But I feel like, you should have more education in that area, more control than I do. Not that they're not human and that they won't make a mistake, but if I know about your faults, and it's not an affair in the past, it's that you're currently sitting up in the church with your wife and your mistress is in the audience, I can't take instruction from you. Help me with that, because it helped me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I understand exactly what you said, and I'm telling you, I agree with you. But if we go off the Word of God, we have to realize that in life, that's why God allows us to study the Word and know the Word for ourselves. Because sometimes we, as the person who are sitting in the audience, and for that person who is sitting up there teaching the Word, we sometimes put our trust too much in them when God is saying, read the Word, get your own understanding. And if you discern stuff happening, that's mean what you do is ask God for them to change their way of living. And it's okay if you want to move away, but I can assure you that if you leave from that church and go to another building where another preacher is preaching, don't bother feel like you're not going to go in there and see that, because the Bible said that whenever you sow your seed, listen, I'm going to use this for you to understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
So when you want to plant a field and you sow carrot, when you plant that seed, it's a preparation. There is a process in which you have to prepare the land to sow that seed. When it comes to the place of sowing, you're going to say, okay, I'm going to plant carrot. When you plant the carrot, guess what happened? The wheat and the carrot comes up. They both look alike when they begin to grow up. You now have to wait until the carrot comes to perfection where you can choose, you can see the wheat and the product, the seed that you plant, that you want to reap. So now you're going to have to go through that carrot garden and pull all those trash away from it, because if you don't do it, then therefore that trash gonna suck all the substance from the carrot, so the carrot not gonna come to perfection in order for you to receive the goodness from the carrot. So it's the same way in the body of Christ, Sister Gwen. So when there is something going on in the church, which is in the building, we now, as the members, we have to go before God and pray for our brothers and sisters, because they are just somebody as human as us. But we are expecting them to be better.
To be better. And I feel bad, because I feel like, there's only one judge, and that's God. I should not be judging them. I'm trying not to judge them, but I am.
But it's something happening.
It's just something inside of me where what the words that are coming out of their mouth is distracting to me, because I know their history.
Yes, and it's hard.
It's tough, and I just couldn't deal with that. And I'm like, the first thing comes to my mind is, okay, I can't listen to this hypocrite. I
Van,
I
was
can't
like
do
you.
it. And I apologize. I'm so sorry. And, I'm not going to sit here and act like I am, the picture of perfection. Please, I have many, many flaws. I have many, many mistakes.
I was like you,
in
Van.
raising my kids, my marriage, and life itself. But I'm not trying to preach to a whole congregation of people to do the right thing when I know at this very moment I'm doing the wrong thing.
Yes.
I just find that very conflicting within me, and I just couldn't stay.
Well,
and it was happening all around me in so many different areas.
Well, that was not the place for you to be.
Yeah, no,
Obviously,
that's
that
why I
was
left.
not the place for you. And
That's why I
one
left.
thing, if somebody watching us right now and thinking, maybe going through the same thing, I was thinking just like Miss Ben. I've been to church that was operating that same way. I don't stay there because sometimes God allow you, open your eyes and send you at a place for you to see something and to let you go somewhere else and see another thing. But God is giving you a message. You have to ask yourself, God, now what is it are you showing me? Because I go here, I want to serve you, and I go here and I see this. Now I come over here and I see something different.
The same thing.
How do I know you live in the middle? You now have to go to God and say, God, what do you want me to do? Because I really want to serve you, but now I don't know. I feel like I'm in the middle of something that ought to collapse me right now. So God, now what do I do from here? Baby, you're talking to me because that's where I was one time. You would never get done or go back to church because I was church hurt.
Exactly.
I was hurt in the church. Man.
Yes,
and
it hurts.
you know what happened? A preacher saw me and, he said, I see, God, I have a message for you. He said, God wants to use you. That's what he said to me. I said, how you know that? I said, God using me every day because I'm alive.
Exactly.
So he said, no, I need you to calm down, just listen to what I'm saying because I was wassy, I was sassy. When it come to, I was like,
no, I can't imagine that.
Girl. So anyway, he said to me, he said, God want to use you. And I sit there and I listen to him and he used something to me and I'm going to say it. He said, if you continue to go in church and look around and see people doing stuff, he said, listen, I said, he said, this pastor, he said to him one day, he said, I'm not going to be bothered with the church. And he said, why? He said, nobody in the church pay attention to you, everybody on their phone, the kids on their phone. And he said, after the church, he went to the pastor, and that's what he said to the pastor. And the pastor gave him a glass with water and tell him to walk around the church and and the glass was filled with water. He said, walk around the church until you come right back to the front of the church. And don't let a split of water fell from out of the glass. And he did. And he said, now, did any of the water spill on the ground? He said, no. He said, do you see anybody in the church after you were doing it? He said, no, he said, why? He said, because I was busy looking at the glass so that the water don't spill.
Okay.
He said, well, that is what God is telling you to do. When you come to church, you don't have your eyes all around. He said, if you come to worship your Father, worship him in spirit and in truth. Listen to me, that thing have a toll on my spirit. That's why I am firm as I am today, because I use that experience that when I go in the house of the Lord, in the building, that I don't look to the persons who are trying to distract me from what God called me that day to be. Because he called me in that building so that I can get some strength, so that I can get something from him. So I'm not going to let distraction hinder me from my purpose.
That's a very good analogy, and I respect that. That's good information, and you should do it that way, but you can't do that every single time. It's just, you would have to be almost perfect to go into that building every single Sunday or choir practice or whatever and focus on that glass of water and never ever let anything distract you, because I think you're in association with people, and when you're dealing with people as a caring person, somebody's going to talk to you about a problem that they have, and you're going to get involved. I just feel like there's no way that I could go to church every single Sunday for like a year or 2 years and never ever get involved in something that's
No.
going on in the church. It's a distraction. It's like you're guilty by association. You know what I mean? If you're associating with a bunch of people that are doing this and doing that, you know, still trying to keep your eye on the glass of water and not let a single drop spill, so at some point, not being perfect, you're going to drop some of the water and somebody's going to get your attention and you might try to help them. And when you help them, you might be, you know, hurting somebody else or making somebody else mad. I just don't see me, and it just for me personally, I don't see that happening Sunday after Sunday, year after year, decade after decade.
All right.
I just don't see that happening. To me, that would be like moving to Alabama and never picking up a single Southern accent.
But can I
Because
ask
you're
you?
there and it's going to happen. And next thing you know, and this is what I see with a lot of people, you're involved, you're doing these things, and you don't even know you're doing it until somebody on the outside says, you're just like them.
But
Have you ever, you understand what I'm saying?
I
You're just like
understand.
them and you don't even know it. You don't even realize that you're doing that.
yes, I agree. And,
So that's my position.
with the thing, for me personally, I'm going to speak personally on behalf of me. When I go to church, because of what I've been through before, when I go to church and before the church, like service started, I greet who I need to greet. After
Once
the
it
service
starts.
begin, baby, I don't care what you say to me. I don't care what you say to me. I'm not going to look to you. Guess what? You see, when I'm worshiping, my eyes are closed. I focus on God. And guess what? I look at it this way. If you is just one day and one couple minutes, hours you're going to be in the church, why not give God your everything?
Exactly.
When you go to work and you go to work, you go to work. And you cannot play. That's why they give you a 15 minutes break. They give you half an hour breaks, and sometimes you get a little.
I play while I work.
So at the same time, your work is different because some people are not. You know, so we
I know, I'm
already.
sorry.
Oh my God! But listen, this was a great. We need to continue this.
Yes,
topic.
we do. This is a great topic. We only have about
Yes.
30 seconds left, Donna. Thank you so much for that wisdom on, you know, church and those great analogies about focusing on that glass of water. That's what we
Yes.
need to do in so many areas in our lives, not
Yes,
just church.
not just church.
Work, family, our children, our spouses, whatever.
Yes.
Great job, Donna. Thank you so much for coming.
You're
Hope to see you
welcome.
next week, but I know you won't be here. You already told
Yes.
me. Okay, so everybody, this is the
The
David
David
Goodman
Goodman
Reality and Truth Show, and we're on your side.